we're going to take the next little while to talk about Tier 2 and then Tier 3. And you've already got a little bit of information about Tier 2. So it's basically the tier where we're looking at targeted interventions. So what small group interventions can we provide to support students? So we're talking about what can we do and how can we support students. A check-in, check-out is one of those things. So we'll go through these slides. So we're always like monitoring students, like our programs, whatever our Tier 2 programs are, our targeted interventions, because we want to make sure that we're using things that are successful for students. We don't want to have an after-school program that's not really changing grades or helping with attendance or homework or whatever skill the student might be deficit in. We want to make sure that it's actually increasing our academic and behavioral outcomes for students. So we're constantly doing that progress monitoring. Okay, so some things that we need to know about our Tier 2 interventions is that we serve multiple students. So we're saying we serve about 15 to 25 students. And it's something that we can do like quickly. Like we can quickly say go to the after school program, or we can put you in check in, check out. Another one is check and connect. We can, have some type of mentoring program. It has to be something that's easy for teachers to do, because if not, it's not probably going to be very successful. And then it's also a program that everybody knows about in the school. So you should know about what those targeted interventions are at your site, so that when you see a student that might need something, you can at least know like your intervention specialists. Those are the go-to people that might know about whatever interventions you have at that site. Some of those major features are that it's always available to students, and that you can make it happen within 3 days or 72 hours. Once again, it's a low effort, and it's consistent with school-wide behavior. So you'll see in our check-in, check-out system, like our whole responsible, respectful, safe, that we're going to use those same language as we support students in all the tiers that the students might need support in. It's implemented by all staff, so everyone knows about it. The front office people, they might kind of help support some of our systems, our counselors, our, campus supervisors. They're all kind of have some type of knowledge about our intervention. And it's not something that we can mandate students to attend. It's a choice. We want to encourage students to attend, but we can't make them, because we know when we make students, it's probably not going to be successful. And then we're always, we not only monitor individualized students, but like I said, we're monitoring the program to see if it's an effective intervention. So the first one that we'll talk about is the check-in, check-out program, which is a highly, it's research-based, and it's a highly effective intervention. So basically, every 6 times a day, and I don't want to say periods because every school, some of them don't meet with their students every day, but every 6 times within the school day, we're checking in with students. So we're looking at those safety, responsibility, and being respectful. And it's more about giving students the attention and time and building that relationship with students that they need throughout the day. So this is what it looks like. The chart is that we figure out who's going to be our student that might be referred for check-in, check-out. We meet with the parents and the staff that might be participating. Basically, where somebody is checking in with a student in the morning, the teachers or school staff is giving feedback throughout the school day, like 6 times. And then at the end of the day, someone is checking out and saying, you met maybe 80% of your goals, you did a great job. Or maybe tomorrow, maybe you can try to reach this percentage. So it's continually monitoring their progress, how they're doing, and then also providing parent feedback. And we find that a lot of times our students that might need more support, they don't have as much support at home. So we don't like punish students when they don't return the parent feedback, but we're just providing that as an additional support to students. So we're always like looking to summarize our data. We have a whole system where we're inputting it and looking at how students are doing. Should we continue the program? Should we revise it? Should we scale it back? And how can we make sure students have enough skills so that they can exit the program and go back to the Tier 1 without the interventions? So why does check-in, check-out work, and why is it effective? There's 3 main reasons. It's because we increase the structure that students have throughout the day. We're reminding them to be responsible. Maybe that's turning in your homework or bringing your pencils, as we described, whatever that might be. We're just always setting them up and providing that structure to do that, and letting them have the choice whether they want to participate or not. So some days students might just choose to have a bad day, but we're at least setting those pieces up for them. And then we're always giving them feedback. We're always letting them know. And we don't want teachers to spend a lot of time, maybe like 30 seconds, to think about how the student did. And she talked a little bit about it. It's typically like a 3 scale, like either you get 0 points, 1 point, or 2 points. So you're just quickly making that decision and moving on to the next student. It shouldn't take, like we said, a lot of effort or thought. So here's an example of a check-in, check-out card. Every school is going to look a little bit different. And how they set up their systems. You'll see in some schools they'll have the attendance people. Depending on how your school is set up, they'll be the person to check in with a student in the morning. In other schools it might be the community liaison or a teacher. So you'll find out what your program is at your school, but the idea is that you get this card, and it's this system where you might be asking to rate the student every period. And the idea is that you're not going to that student, that they're coming up to you with a card and asking for that positive feedback. So check and connect. So this is another intervention. It's also research-based, and it's basically a mentor program. So for 2 years, an adult on campus will be paired with a student, and they're always meeting with them, asking them about their grades, how their behavior, social stuff, and just kind of always checking in, just building that relationship, because research finds also that students who have one positive relationship on campus, they tend to do better in school. So it's always looking how to check and then connect with those students. So they might send an email out who would be willing to do this. So this might be something you can get involved in if you'd like.